Good morning, everyone. Roger Hill of Wuthering Heights on this town meeting day, looking at the VELCO weather hazards forecast outlook. And coast to coast, we're looking at generally a kind of flat ridge of higher pressure that's in the center of the country. We have an upper level low that's spinning away in the Canadian Maritimes. This is going to be tracking a little bit further to the south and eventually fill in. We have a more powerful system that has worked its way down the Gulf of Alaska and then down the British Columbia coast to off the Pacific Northwest. This is feeding in this kind of flat ridge, and you can see it a little bit more amplified across Canada where the very cold air is located. That flat ridge of higher pressure continues and really has been the main influence pretty much all winter long across the southeastern, I'm going to say 1/3 of the country, and that continues with warmer than normal temperatures. Of course, this sets up with severe weather episodes and whatnot, but this particular period right now looks like it's going to be relatively inactive compared to what it has been, and especially for the northeast United States, as this area of low pressure tracks further off to the south. Ridges of higher pressure located over central Canada in this colder air mass will then ridge across areas and pretty much put the guard on any kind of approaching weather systems. Let's take a look at the computer modeling, which pretty much explains everything. So on this Thursday morning, what you can see here, just before we go to the modeling, we got a little bit of snow shower and flurry action that's made it about as far south as Burlington in the Champlain Valley. Also into Lamoille County, Morrisville, Stowe, as well as Lyndonville and up around Newport, where they've actually seen a little bit better chances for a coating. This is going to be working its way out of the Canadian Maritimes, and it's going to be plaguing for the next several days with generally cloudy conditions, but this light kind of dustings of snow showers and flurries will continue pretty much off and on right into the day on Thursday. Looks like the next best day coming will be along about Friday, and then really 3 days, Saturday and Sunday, put all together with the best amounts of solar generation along about Sunday as well. So on this town meeting Tuesday, we can see the European on the left-hand side, the GFS, that would be the Canadian GEM, which is the most accurate, and I'll show you the reasons here. But needless to say, we have a little bit of snow shower and flurry action making it into the northern one half of the state by around 10 o'clock this morning, and then continuing into this afternoon. This is the main area of low pressure and a lot of colder air, as well as a little bit of snow showers and flurries with some moisture working in. This is going to continue into tonight. Looks like during the day on Wednesday. A little bit of a break in the action. Now this reaches back about 6 hours, so precipitation looks like it's lingering, but it's really getting out of town here on Wednesday afternoon. And Wednesday night it returns. It looks like overnight, and we see a little bit more of that flaring up on Thursday. And then finally, there's that ridge of higher pressure. That's mighty magnificent. 1046 hectopascal surface high pressure system. That is really strong, and that's going to be the controlling influence on the northeast United States once we head into the late part of the week and through this coming weekend, as we have dry weather on Friday. That shunts this weather system here, pushing it further off to the south, and it does look like that continues on Saturday. We have a kind of a coastal low that develops that will continue to the south per the Canadian model as well as the European. Now the GFS ensemble wants that a little further to the north. I'll show you that here in a second. But that sets up what will be elongated 3 days of dry weather, good project weather right over this coming weekend until this puppy moves in on Tuesday. This could be problematic for us because it's going to do a loop-de-loop, and the way the cutoff low is presented here, if this holds, this could be a significant snowfall for the region. But this is well beyond the period we're talking through the day on Tuesday. Watch this loop back and then basically continue. So that's quite the nor'easter if this does happen. This is way out over time, however. Looking at the GFS ensembles centered on the grid point of Montpelier, this is a 3-hourly QPF, so you can see a little bump up today, a little bump up again, and so on and so forth. And as we get down the road a piece, the GFS was tagging on that potential system that's going to really track to the south per the Canadian and European model. GFS wants to bring a little bit of snow into the region. In terms of precipitation type, due to the fact that our temperatures are basically below 0 degrees centigrade at hectopascals here about the top of Mount Mansfield, what you can see here is it's going to be basically cold, and that means the type of precipitation is going to be snow. We got snow, snow, snow. Until we get into this area, I would ignore that at this point in time. And the other good news is that about the top of Mount Mansfield, 850 hectopascal, you're looking at winds below 40 knots, a good indicator of not really terrible conditions here for any kind of wind issues. Weather Prediction Center, the next 7 days of total QPF. This is about 0.25 of an inch. That green is about a half an inch, so a little bit in the northern mountains. Note that up in Canada, things are pretty dry with that area of higher pressure. And looking at the climate reanalyzer out of the University of Maine, temperatures are a little bit below normal today, but you can see that we're surrounded with anomalous warmth out in the west, as it has been pretty much all winter long. We've seen western Canada and a good portion of California, even in the interior areas, northern Rockies, etc., seeing below normal temperatures. Meteorological output statistics look like this. Pretty cold up here, but marginally cold here, but we're near basically neutral and warmer than normal as you head into the Canadian Maritimes with that spinning that moisture coming in off the ocean and flooding in and making temperatures a little bit warmer than normal. What about 3 days later? Well, it looks like this. That's going to cool off, and we're going to be close to neutral, and we have actually cold weather pretty much coast to coast, except along the southern tier where things are starting to warm up yet again. And a quick snapshot on precipitation, and conditions are relatively wet. We've had, of course, a lot of snow and some good melted precip. Pretty much in Addison, Bennington, Caledonia, you can see all of the spikes here, Franklin County, and so on and so forth, into Windham, Windsor County, Orleans, Rutland, Washington, Orange County, all getting in on above normal precipitation for the month so far. Now, the way it looks, I'll just show you Washington County here. So this is month to date, above normal. But you get into the last month or so, just a little bit above 100%, so just slightly above normal. And that works for basically 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, and year to date. That's it from here. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights. Thanks for watching.